I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Sue Broome. We're here today for messages from your loved ones. And what this is, it's an opportunity for you to type in the messages of Facebook and let us know if there's somebody that you have loved and lost that you would like to receive a message from. And we've been doing this for a year and a half,
Oh,
2
longer than
years,
that.
2.5 years, 2.5 years. And we have received some beautiful messages from some very special folks. So welcome. We're so glad that you're here. So Sue Broome, how are you today?
I am doing well. How are you? Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day and happy Valentine's to Prachetta. It looks like Prachetta's on with us.
Oh, good. Yay,
Yeah.
she must have got the message. Yay, Prachetta.
Gina Marie Burrell is here, says, hello, ladies. Hello. Nice to have you, Gina. So we can just start out of the chute. Actually, Sue is just sharing out with her folks, and I'll let you guys take a moment to put in. Thank you, Prachetta. Happy Valentine's Day to you. So if Prachetta, you and Gina would like to hear a message from a loved one who has passed over, please put their names in the chat and we'll take a look at that. But I wanted to start out this morning, Sue. This show, we talk about
Okay.
transitioning from one physical realm to the 3D
Okay.
realm well, not the 3D, but to the ethereal realm when folks pass over. And just yesterday, actually, I was doing the meditation a day with Sally De La Rosa, and in her meditation, she was just full of wise words after wise words. It was such a great meditation. But one of the things that she said, I want to make sure that I say it right. She said, at one point, she said, remember all of the words that you wish that you had spoken to someone. And then we released those words and we just kind of gave them up to the angels. And she said, your words can no longer be contained, right? And she said, the people that hold on to their words the longest without saying them, they're feeling the hurt and the pain longer. And so in my meditation, I remembered when my friend Jeannie passed just this August, and I had a lot of grief about what I didn't say to her before she passed. She passed while I was out of town. And before I left, the angels told me she was going to be passing while I was gone. And I went and I saw her and I thought, yeah, I don't think that's right. Because I had seen her not doing well, but I didn't see her at death's door, right? So I thought, nah, I don't believe that's right. So there were things I did not say to her that I would have said to her had I honestly listened to the angels. And so I was remembering those things that I wished I would have said. And so I mentioned that to Sally after the meditation. I said, that's what my heart has held on to, is the grief of not saying those words to her before she passed. And she said, well, she's standing right behind you. She said, I can see her. She's right behind you. And she said, she didn't want to hurt anyone. And I said, and that's why she died when 3 of her closest friends were out of state. And she said, yeah, she didn't want you all to have to witness that. And it just brought tears to me because I could feel Jeannie with me. And those things, those emotions of holding on to those words, and darn it, I wish I would have said it, they were all just released. And it was like, Jean's not holding on to that.
Right.
I don't need to hold on to that. And it was just really nice being released from that. Our loved ones are with us. We don't always see them, but they are with us. But the things that they're holding on to, it's the love. It's not the pain. It's not the grief. It's not any of that. It's the love.
It's so interesting too, because people are gonna leave when they're gonna leave. A friend of mine, her and her sister were staying with her mom in her room. This was years ago. And they basically wouldn't leave except to go to the bathroom, and unless they had to go grab something to eat. And I mean, like, I think 3 days in a row they were there. And I think it was down to one of them. They got to go to the bathroom. That's when her mom left. It's like, they're gonna leave when they're gonna leave. Whether you're out of state or whether you're going to the bathroom. It's
Right.
like,
Right. Yeah. And the other thought that came to me was she wasn't afraid. That moment of passing, and she wasn't afraid. And what I got with her was that there was a part of her, the witness participant, that was going, oh, is that what no, this isn't what no, really, is that what that feels? I think it was almost like she was consciously aware of, then they think she had a heart attack, actually. But consciously aware of what was happening in her body and really sizing it up. Is that what that feels like to die? Huh. I wonder, just sort of interesting. Interesting. So, hey, Julie Kiss, welcome.
hi, Julie.
So, Gina Marie Burrell says, more than anyone, I would be delighted to hear from my father, Lonnie Burrell. Now, Sue, show the cards that we use, because I don't know that Gina's ever been on here with us.
So, and then they just have a very simple message. Very simple message. And you said Ronnie, her father, Ronnie?
Lonnie, Lonny.
All right, let's see. Yeah, we're at a different time than we usually are, so maybe
Yes, we do.
we'll see. All right, Gina and Ronnie. I'm a very gentle spirit, actually. Saying the words that a father would say, but gentle. Okay, let's see if we got. Notice the animals around you. I don't know if your father had a pet or if you had your pet around your father, but I feel like animals are so good at picking up who's in the room when we don't necessarily see them. And I feel like there's a couple different animals. It might be a pet that he has, it might be a pet that you have, or it might be both. But they can sense him and they might sit there. I almost feel like they're sitting and looking at maybe at a spot in the room, a corner, and they have kind of a quizzical look on their face. But you can tell that they're not afraid. It's a quizzical, but it's a positive feeling. They feel calm. They feel like, oh, this is somebody I know. Their tail might wag, or if it's a dog. But I also feel like there's animals outside. You might hear birds singing, a special bird that I see Ruth is nodding. And it's funny because I'm not looking at Ruth, but I could see her nodding and I see the red that she's wearing and I'm seeing a cardinal or I'm hearing a cardinal because I know a lot of people, and there go the chimes, associate cardinals with their loved ones. So there's definitely animals, whether it's a pet, whether it's a wildlife animal, whether it's, birds or butterflies, notice. Because your dad comes to you that way. I think a lot, a lot. So there you go.
Gina mentioned Lulu and Barkley. Those kind of sound like dog names to me. And then she mentioned the birds. Yeah. So you said he has a gentle spirit. And I was absolutely getting that. Gentle, ever present in his support. Like if there was a party, I'm not getting that Lonnie was like the loud, boisterous life of the party, but he was there, and I'm getting a lot of laughter, but it's not even a loud laughter. It's like a gentle, soft laughter. But what I saw, Gina, the first thing I saw was a Ferris wheel at night, with the lights lit up. And I don't know where you're from, Gina, and I don't know that it's actually literal, but when I have seen the Ferris wheel at night with the lights lit up, it's like good times and happy times and special happy times. And I saw a handful of cotton candy. You know, they would give you the thing with the cotton candy on it. So I was seeing the pink and the blue cotton candy, and then it switched into an ice cream cone, and a deer was licking it. And it was like, oh, the energy is so soft and so gentle. And I just get the feeling that Lonnie loved nature and just relished in the joy of nature. He was a quiet guy. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yep. Yeah. Karen Waldron, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Karen.
Yeah. So Gina, I hope that made sense for you, but that's truly the feelings that we're getting with your father. Sweet. Yes, yes, yes. Nature, she said. Yes. Yep. Yep. You know what I do find when we do these messages, people's personalities really don't seem to change much, you know? It's very cool what they teach us. Very she's very confident that he's happy. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. And when it's time for you to pass over, Gina, if what you're wanting is for him to be there with you, I think he's got a lot of things to show you that he has been enjoying over on the other side. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Prachetta, I know it is early morning for you. Prachetta's over in India. When she got on, it was 1:30 in the morning. Thank you for staying up. Okay, so Prachetta is next. She said, a very close friend of mine passed away during COVID. She was suffering from cancer. She really wanted me to come and meet her. Unfortunately, she was alone when she passed. I could not be with her or meet her. Her name was Jayanthi. Can I get a message from her? Thanks so much. It's Jayanthy. That's a beautiful name.
There's a freedom that I'm feeling. I don't know what that means, whether it's free to be, free that there's no 3D confinement. I don't know. All right, let's see what the card is. Watch the clouds. Oh yeah, so interesting. And it's funny because when I was doing the pre-shuffle, this card came out. I thought, oh, and I always say for me, and I pull it out, and this was the card. But there's a lot of freedom in the clouds. there's, the way that they can move with no constraints. And I don't know if this person, well, you said during COVID, but I don't know if she said from COVID. But there is a freeness. It's
During,
say that.
she passed away during COVID.
Okay, so it wasn't
Cancer.
but it feels like there was something constraining with her in her body that isn't there anymore. It's kind of like if you try to contain a cloud, you can't, it's just gonna transpose into vapors, and that's truly, there is so much freedom where you can expand when you want, when you need to. And I feel like there is a lot of expansion. And I feel like Prachetta, I actually feel like the expansion for her has also come from her connection to you, which has in turn helped your expansion. So I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like if two clouds are coming together and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow. There's something about the two of you knowing each other. You've both really helped each other. So I hope that makes sense.
And what I'm getting, Prachetta, I know you felt bad that she was alone when she passed. I'm not getting that she felt bad that she was alone when she passed. What I was getting when Sue was talking about the expansion, I was seeing your friend Jay Anthony reaching down and like unhooking a seatbelt that was across her chest. I think she was very strong in her knowingness what was going to happen to her. I think she was part of when it was going to happen to her. She was strong. I don't know what you saw in her. I mean, obviously dying of cancer is, nobody's feeling great. She had a very strong countenance to her. And I think she was okay to be alone. And I think she participated in her passing. Not that she killed herself, friends. That's not what I'm saying. But I think as a spirit, I think we can have some say in when that is. Like Sue said, some folks wait for people to leave the room. Other folks wait for somebody to fly in, or they wait for their next birthday, or, they wait for the holidays. And then they go. So I just see a lot of strength in her passing. You don't need to feel bad about her passing. Don't. And she knew very much that you loved her. Very much. She said, Perchetta said she had very bad neurological issues from childhood. She was only 60, never married, had a very difficult life. She always fought for love from her siblings. I think she was a very strong person internally as a soul. I think she was actually very strong.
Yeah. And it does make sense where the clouds, because there's so much transformation that happens with clouds, that's really how she shifted.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad that you're talking about this, Ruth, from the perspective that we that are left here are the ones that hold on to the stuff. It's not them. It's us, and allowing ourselves the gift to let it go, to just go into the feeling of the love and the connection that you have had when they were here, but you still have, and just be in that feeling and allow all this other 3D stuff to just like dissipate.
Yeah, just remember the love that you shared. Because I think at the end of it, that's the only thing that is real, because the rest can all be taken away, right? Only the
Isn't there a
love.
book, Only Love is Real?
There should be if there isn't.
Didn't
There
you
probably
write, what was the name of your book?
one love.
Oh, okay, I was close. But I do think there is a book, I think there's a movie called Only Love is Real.
Yeah, there should
Oh, funny, one love, okay, close. Had the O.
So Julie Kiss,
Miss
like
Julie.
a message from her godmother. Would love to have a card from my godmother. Thank you so very much. Love and light.
All right. She doesn't have a name for Miss Godmother.
No,
Okay, Miss Godmother. I feel like a fairy godmother. You know, I see the little wand. Of course, the chimes are going off for both.
yeah.
Hmm. Oh, there it is. It's Julie. Let's see.
Hmm.
See, and there go the chimes. Ooh, write me a note. So it's funny because I'm seeing a wand in the sky, you know, when you're just like air writing. Oh, you know, I have heard this. I have not, well, I kind of have done it. But not the way that I read this one woman say a long time ago is actually write the person a letter and put it in an envelope and mail it.
Mhm.
And there's something the word that's coming to me is cathartic. I think that's the right word, that writing it out and actually physically putting it in the mailbox and allowing it to go off into the universe. Because if you don't put a return address on there or an address, you know, it's not going to come back. But there is something, and there's something about writing it with a pen and paper versus writing it on your computer. There's that energetic connection. So what I'm seeing is, like, as you're writing it, it's almost like the love and the connection is just lifting up off the page and going to her and going out to the universe, because I think it's helping, excuse me, I think it's helping other people as well. But for you especially, and it feels like, I don't know, maybe if the two of you had a little connection where she would send you a cute little card and you would send her a cute little card. But I think it's important to do that, to write out a letter, a note or a letter. And if you have any old letters, cards from her, pull them out and sit and read them with a cup of tea. Just go through and read them and feel that connection. So there you go with that, Miss Julie.
Mhm. That's lovely. And Julie said, I think it's her godmother's name, Maire. Now, would you say that Mare or Mary? I don't know how you say that. It's a beautiful name. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know either. I've never seen, unless it's Marie misspelled, but it could be Mary.
I will write her. Yes, she's got many cards from her. Okay. Well, so Julie, the first thing that I was getting, some folks who are smart know how on their cell phones to send emojis that like blow up, like whether it's confetti or hearts or whatever. I know Sue knows. So the first thing that I got from your godmother was all of these little hearts popping in. And then it was like a flood of these hearts. And then they turned into Valentine candies that had words on them. So I loved when you said that about writing it down, because I'm getting these words on these Valentine candies. And then they turned into African violets. Now, who remembers African violets? Hardly anybody, right? So to me, African violets, my mother used to love African violets. And so, I mean, that takes us back many, many years, right? You just don't see them at the stores and stuff anymore. Um, oh, it's Marais. Oh, I love
Oh, that's a cool name.
Marais. That's beautiful. Um, so I was trying to key in on the African violet part, and I think to me it symbolizes old timey, which to me is symbolizing a long time connection. Now, is it a long time connection in this lifetime, or was there previous lifetimes with her? So really going long time ago. So I would be curious to know that, Julie. Do you feel like you had some past life experiences with Mare as well? What a beautiful name. Beautiful, beautiful. Lots of hearts, lots of love coming to you.
I just did that right before we started. I just sent somebody a happy Valentine's and I made sure to do the hearts.
Did? Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Well, and I think what this shows too, she took that role of godmother very much to heart.
Mhm.
So much love for you. And it's still there for you. All that love. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing Mare with us. Okay.
One more thing, that magical wand, it's, all the sparkles that you would expect with the end of a magical wand, that's like, I don't want to say fairy dust, but it is kind of like fairy dust, spreading it all around. It's very cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Karen wanted to know, do we have to request a specific message or person? You don't have to, Karen. If there's somebody that you have loved and lost, certainly send that along if you want a message there. Sometimes people just ask for a message from their spirit guides or from the angels. So whatever feels comfortable to you. Kimberly Wilkinson. Let me just walk back through, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Deborah, if you're still watching, if you could be a little more specific about something you would like to hear from us, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. Kimberly. Kimberly said about the, where'd it go? I thought it was Kimberly. Somebody had said that the African violets was somebody's favorite, like a mother's favorite or something.
I had to look at the picture because I think it was Aunt Rosie's favorite, and this is about the color of how dark they are.
Yes. Yeah, my mom used to love them. I could never make them grow. Okay. Okay, Kimberly Wilkinson would like to hear from Aunt Elizabeth. And before we do that, Kimberly Wilkinson had said those were her mom's favorite. There we go. And Julie Kiss said, yes, she was, had a very, very long time relationship with Mare, but she passed away too soon. I loved her like a sister. She loved you like a sister and a mother and an auntie, and she loved you so much. Yeah. Okay, Karen, we will get to you in just a minute.
So we're doing Kimberly with Aunt Elizabeth.
Kimberly Wilkinson with Aunt Elizabeth. Oh my. Oh my.
Hmm. Hmm. Nope. Thought that was it, but it's not. There we go. Aunt Elizabeth. I'm kind of feeling like almost like a teacher, but not a teacher as in a school teacher, but wisdom knowledge kind of teacher. I send rainbows to brighten your day. Ooh, and the chimes are going off. So it feels like the rainbow is one thing that I feel like, yeah, there's rainbows that you probably notice rainbows in bizarre places. Like sometimes in the morning, I will get something on the wall over there. And there's no way because the sun rises over there. So it's like I have to, okay, where's that coming from? But it shines in here and then shines over there. So it's almost like you're going to get these little rainbows sometimes. And it's like, well, where is that coming from? And you'll figure it out. But I feel like she's a little bit of an instigator. And it sometimes it feels like it's so indirect, but I think that's the wisdom teaching part of her, because she wasn't one to say, here's the answer. She would ask you questions, or she would show you things to help you find the answers yourself. And so it's interesting how rainbows comes out of all that, but it's like, yeah, I think there's things that not only rainbows, I think there's other things that it's like, oh yeah, you can, it's little hints of her is what it feels like. It's like just little nuggets of her, and you know that it is. So there you go, Miss Kimberly.
So Kimberly, the first thing I got, which is highly unusual for me, was the smell of mothballs. I have never gotten that, Sue. I have never gotten that. And then I also got that smell of cedar lining in like a closet, right? Or a linen chest. What is that called? Cedar chest? Cedar chest.
Yeah.
But very strongly, the smell of mothballs and cedar lining. And a couple thoughts came to mind. Either she died a long time ago, or she lived a long time, or she doesn't want to be forgotten. And along with those lines, seek to know me. I get the feeling there was more to Aunt Elizabeth than you know. And she would love for you to find out who she was. And I don't know if that's in the back of some cedar-lined closet that's got, old family photos or newspaper clippings or something. And I think she felt like she died too young. I'm not sure she was done living. I think she wanted to live longer because she wasn't ready to be gone from people's memories, from people's thinking. So seek to know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to know about Aunt Elizabeth. I think there's much more there to her than you might know at this time.
It's so interesting because it feels like that's where the knowledge, the wisdom comes in, because it's like a way of passing down her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the family stories that are only told from, oldest daughter to oldest daughter, and they're not written down. It's kind of like, yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. Seek to know me.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I wonder if anybody else knew Aunt Elizabeth and is still alive that could tell you about Aunt Elizabeth. I would be curious to know about that. Okay, Karen Waldron would like to hear from my spirit guides.
Yes, Karen, we'll see. Spirit guides. So the words I'm hearing, Miss Karen, is look within. All right. Look within. Oh, it's funny. Notice the scents and aromas. So interesting, because just as I said that, there was a scent of something, and sometimes the scent is just so minuscule that I can't like breathe it in because it's gone, but it's there. But there's it's gonna sound really strange, but it feels like the answers are in when you notice a scent of something. It's like it's an answer to something that you were questioning, or it's something to stick in the back of your head because the question is going to come and that's the answer. And that sounds very strange, very strange. But it's like, that's what I'm getting. So it really is, it's pay attention. Because it's odd places that you're gonna, it's like if all of a sudden in my house, I'm smelling cigarette smoke. There ain't nobody smoking cigarettes or pipe smoker, or I'm in a grocery store in the freezer section and all of a sudden I get this whiff of a rose. It's like that, it's odd places, but pay attention because it's something that your inner self, your spirit guides are trying to get your attention for something. Look at Ruth. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. Actually, so what I saw you got a bunch of spirit guides, by the way. And so you're sitting there and they're lined up in front of you. And there's one in particular that is holding this book out, like in your face and pointing to this same thing. And I'm watching you and you're kind of like going, oh, does it mean no, it's right here. It's right here. The answer is right here. So, I tend to believe that if the universe is trying to teach us a lesson and we don't get it, it'll come back to us. They will repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And it looks like maybe that's a little bit of what's happening with you, Karen, that your guys are trying so hard to help you learn a lesson. And you're kind of going,
La la la.
a squirrel, squirrel. I go, no, pay attention. Right here.
Oh, funny.
Look at this. Okay. So Kimberly said, this is about Aunt Elizabeth. Aunt Elizabeth died of cirrhosis of the liver. I held her hand when she passed. We were very close. I know she held some secrets, or she would not have died from this disease. Thank you for sharing this message. I encourage you to look up all the different things that can cause cirrhosis of the liver. It does not have to be alcohol. I think she might have had other secrets, but alcohol may not have been one of them. Yeah. You're welcome for that message.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Um, Isabel Reese would like a message from her biological mother. It's lovely you all are with us today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, a different time. We've got a lot more people.
Yeah, I think this is a better time, frankly.
Maybe. I feel a lot of love.
Now she's saying her biological mother, so there's
Mm-hmm.
something to that as well.
Yeah, I do. I just feel a lot of love, and all of a sudden it just got warmer in here, so. I feel your love every day, so. I almost get the feeling. Isabel, I get the feeling that you have done a lot of work on being able to love her. Maybe there was a time when you didn't feel that for her. And I feel like you've really healed a big wound is what it feels like. But she's always loved you. Even before you were born, I feel like she loved you. It's like when a woman is pregnant and she puts her hands on her belly and is just basking in the love the connection and the love. I feel that. So I feel your love every day, and I have to say I would think that would be a difficult thing to work through. So I think it's kudos to you that you've done so much healing for yourself, because now you can truly feel the love. That's what I'm getting.
So interestingly, what I was getting was the smell of Italian sauces cooking. I was getting like spaghetti sauce, but nothing was being made with the sauces. It was being put up in jars, like the mason jars, right? But the big mason jars. But it was about the simmering and the caring and the love and the time and the energy and all of the ingredients and making it just so. And of course, Sue and I have no idea what your backstory is, but I'm actually getting part of that is in utero. And I don't know the story. Maybe she knew going in she couldn't keep you, but she was loving you. She was creating you. She was simmering and steeping and making it just perfect. And I think too, part of that, putting it up in cans or canning it in bottles, if you will. I think there was an awful lot of love, time, energy. I heard the word sacrifice that all went in, and she couldn't necessarily give it to you. She had to set it aside, and maybe someday you would get it, but it was being prepared and being steeped with you in mind. Italian food, Italian sauces. Okay,
Yum, yum.
Virginia, welcome. She made it. Judith Albee, thank you for being here. She gets certain smells at times. Yep. Deborah Guzman, so glad you're here. Karen Waldron said, it's interesting about scents. She smelled her mother's favorite perfume the other day. That's your mama. Okay. Karen said, I don't know who my spirit guides are, as they have never revealed enough for me to know. They know who you are.
Yeah, and it's more of a feeling, than, oh, I see you standing over there. It's feel into it. So, and I think, Karen, I think when they're around, like if you were to ask a specific, okay, spirit guide A, you feel when they're there. And so go more with your feeling and pay attention to what you're feeling than the reveal, the big reveal.
Yeah. And I think too, Karen, look back through your lifetime and see, were there times in your childhood? Were there things that were important to you in your childhood that weren't necessarily important to the other kids around? You know, were your guides modeling you? Were they working with you? Were they protecting you? Were they there with you? They really don't always just reveal themselves to you. But maybe you can look back through your lifetime and see times that they were with you. Yeah. So Isabel said, it looks like her mother gave her up at 2 months. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of love for you there. I hope that you can feel that, Isabel.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, love keeps coming up today, doesn't it? Over and over and over and over. Okay. Judith
Damn.
Albee.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Judith Albee wants to know if there's a message from her ancestors.
All right, Judith and your ancestors. Oh. Almost had a hopping deck of cards there. I guess a lot of people are coming through. It's like, we want half the deck, Sue.
I'm seeing a bunch of them, actually.
Yeah. Oh. Feeling very tribal. All right, Judith. Forgiveness is important. Oh. So what's interesting is when we work on something, and in this case, I'll just use forgiveness because that's what the card was saying. But when we work on it from this lifetime, if it was something that was carried down, maybe a family feud, let's say a family feud, was carried down generation after generation after generation, and it finally gets to you, Judith, and you're like, what the heck is this all about? Who cares? But you also work on the forgiveness aspect of it, because maybe there's some hurt or some angst that you can feel. It heals the ancestors as well when you have worked on it yourself. And I think that that's something that's so interesting for people to realize is, wow, you mean if I can heal this for myself, I can help my mom and my grandma and my great grandma for all the pain, and I'm getting chills on that, for all the pain that they may have felt over this. And it feels like, so there's something that you have done, whether it's forgiveness or something else in this lifetime, you have done for yourself, and you have done it for them, going back at least 7 generations. So that's what I'm getting.
Just a little side note, I can attest to that, because the message coming down from my ancestors, Judith, was your best is none too good. And it came in loud and strong. And I worked with different energy friends about that, and we healed back several generations. I mean, it was like profound that I don't have to pass that crazy thinking on to my kids. You know, they don't have to pass it on to theirs. So, yes, and I did see that also, that the work that you are doing in this lifetime is going back and healing them, but there's no obligation for you to continue doing the work to free them up. Okay, so I don't want you to hear that there's obligation about that. There's not. So the first thing that I saw, Judith, was somebody, and there's a bunch of them, by the way. You've got a bunch of ancestors. Now, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily only in this lifetime. They could have been from other lifetimes as well, but you got a bunch. But somebody handed forward a wooden shoe and said something about a cobbler, and then they all started laughing. So I was getting that there is a lot of laughter, a lot of sense of humor coming forward. Don't take life too seriously, is what I heard. And yes, there might have been family squabbles or whatever, but then I heard the words, "That's my boy." So even if there were family squabbles, the love was there for each other. They didn't get caught up in the squabbles for long, at least not with each other. But hearing the laughter of the ancestors, that was fun and unexpected, I can tell you. Okay. Okay, Judith is part native. Interesting. And Judith says, I stop cycles of sex abuse. Yes. Good for you.
That might have been it, yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. Deborah said she needs to go back to work. She does feel like there was so much that applied to her today, so thank you. Grace Isis is here. Oh, yeah, Grace Isis is in Kenya right now. God bless you, Grace. Be safe, be careful. I hope that it's good quality time for you out there. Okay, let me see. Okay, we've got time. We can finish these two up, I believe. Aw. Okay, Vita Hammond. Okay, any messages that come through for her today?
I'm hearing the word allow. Allow, I love that word, allow. Miss Vita. Remember our favorite memory. So I feel like there's where the allow feels like it's so connected to this is allowing, I feel like allowing yourself to daydream, allowing yourself to imagine, and allowing yourself to bring together like happy moments. It's like memories, but if you had a string of a whole bunch of different memories, and there was this thing that you liked best out of this one, and this thing that you liked best out of that one, and this thing that you liked best out of that one, I feel like string them all together with your imagination and your visualization, and allow yourself to create something new for tomorrow. It's very interesting. Miss Vita. Yeah, because I feel like you're quite the little manifester and you don't give yourself credit. There you go.
Very cool. Vita, what they showed me was spring pastel colors, like Easter egg colors. And it feels to me like there is lightness and joy coming around the corner. So some folks have seasonal affective disorder. Some folks can't stand the snow. Other folks might just be going through like a slump or something, but hang on, because there is lightness and joy coming around the corner. We are a ways off from Easter, but hang in there. Lightness and joy is coming. Interesting. Virginia said, I always feel someone or something is in a room with me. At times I feel a hand on my shoulder and no one is there. I guess the question, Virginia, does that scare you?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what it would feel like.
is that a good thing?
I feel like if you ask the question and then let it go, it's like, don't grill the person. But ask the question, who are you? And then see what comes up. It's like I used to have a light when I first moved in here. I had a light. It's one of those touch lights in the second bedroom that would come on. And I'm like, well, who is that? Because I didn't feel like it was any of one of my relatives. It felt like it was somebody that either was connected with this house. And I don't remember what name I got, but I got a name and it quit coming on.
Oh, interesting. It just wanted to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've had different beings in different homes. The home that we're going to move into in a month or so apparently has a ghost named Sandra. So
But she's nice.
she's nice, and she likes what we're doing with the place. So there we go. But Virginia, I really want you to ask yourself, does this energy that's around you feel okay? And if it doesn't feel okay, you may ask it to leave and just hold that expectation that that energy is going to move on. If the energy feels okay to you, then it's up to you whether you want to do anything with it or not. But, sometimes they come to us because they actually need help moving on. So I guess I would just like to know, how does that feel to you? Oh, Grace is in Kenya for a funeral. Yeah. Grace said, thank you for the love. It's communing with the tribal ancestors and passages for my father's entrance into the realm of ancestral space.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. And Vita said, yes, it is allow. To allow. You were talking about her allowing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Vita said that's mom coming through with the colors, with the pastel colors. Oh, Vita says, I keep pastel tulips for her at her passing through the Easter time. Well, there you go.
Perfect.
There you go, Vita. And Virginia said the energy feels okay. It's a good energy.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Oh, Angelina Johnson came on. Hello, I'm new here and have missed every live before and actually made one today.
Just as we're finishing, you're gonna have to watch the replay. Oh, funny.
So we do this once a month. It's typically on the second, right? The second.
Second Monday.
Yeah, we got a little messed up this week, but Angelina, because you're with us, if you would like, we'll squeeze you in here. If there's somebody that you would like a message from, please type it in quick. We'll wait a couple minutes and see if there's something that you share here. She said, oh, rats, LOL. So we'll see if Angelina can type one in under the, oh, Deborah, thank you. Deborah, I never was clear on what it was who you were wanting to hang on for. So Deborah, can you please type in if there was somebody in particular you were hoping to hear from? Spirit. Okay, thank you. All right, Deborah, thank you. Spirit guides for Deborah.
All right. Hmm. Hmm. Hearing, feel the connection and feel the magic. So let me see, Miss Deborah. There are no words. That's where it's feel, feel the magic, feel. But I feel like, yeah, because sometimes you really can't put words on it. And it is about feeling. And I think that that's, similar to Karen, it's like, yeah, your spirit guides are with you. And you can feel into when they are there, when one in particular is there, or if there's something that it's like, oh, there's something that that you're working through. And just here comes the word allow again. It's just allow yourself to feel into what is it that I'm truly feeling, the emotion that you're feeling, but also if you're noticing something, maybe you're feeling a touch on your shoulder or somebody goofing with your hair, because I feel like there's different ways that they're trying to get your attention, not all at once, but I do feel like there's different things that you notice when this one is trying to get your attention or this one is trying to get your attention, and even at different groupings of your life, meaning like you were going through a tough time, there was a different spirit guide that was coming in to help you with that, or a different angel, and really feeling into that. That's what it feels like to me. Miss Deborah.
Deborah says, yes, I'm aware. I do stop and listen. Things have been moved and it feels playful. Deborah, what I was getting was a whole bunch of dollar signs flinging in. Now, the word I heard was abundance. So we do know that abundance comes in many, many forms and not always in the shape of money. So they are reminding you of the abundance that you have enjoyed. And they reminded me of the word gratitude. So I don't know if you're a grateful kind of person or not, but they gave us the word gratitude. And they showed that no matter how little a person has, they can always share a little something. There's always the abundance to be able to share something. Or no matter how tired someone is, there's always the abundance to be able to hug someone, right? There's always a little more left in the pot to give to someone. So she said those are all top words in her vocabulary. Yeah, it looks to me like there's a great deal of abundance in your life in many, many forms, and that you're sharing that with other folks. So you're being acknowledged for that. And she says, I pro bono my gifts daily.
Yay.
That's a fun phrase. Okay, and so if Grace is still on us, we're going to do Angelina. Are you okay, Sue, to hang on for a few more minutes?
Let's do Angelina, and then we're done.
Okay. Okay. All right. Grace, we'll get you next time if you don't mind, please. All right. Angelina is saying, I'm wondering if I have any, I think, guides with me right now. I've been looking for some guidance from my grandma.
See this image of a very, very sweet elderly lady. I know when I was a kid, I always thought my grandma was old. Well, she was my age now. It's like, she was young, but she looked old. She looked so much older. So I am seeing a very elderly. But it's interesting because I'm seeing it's more like the wisdom that you're getting is from an older lady and not from a little old lady that takes her cane and wraps you aside the head, from a sweet, anyway. All right, let's see what the card is. We share so many memories. I think it's almost like I love this card. I love the memory piece of it because when we have a question or as we're going about our day, maybe we're just doing nothing, going for a walk, sitting there having a cup of coffee, and a memory pops in your head, pay attention to what that memory was. The wisdom that might have come out of it, the fun that might have come out of it, the energy and the connection and the love that came out of it. Feel all of those things and just notice when they come up, or when you hear chimes go off, or when you hear a bird sing. It's like, does it spur a memory that kicks off? Just notice that, because I think there's definite messages that you are getting on a very regular basis that you're just like, oh, that was cool. It's like, there's more information when you really notice into it.
And even in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm watching as you're sleeping and she's like sitting next to you, whispering in your ear. So pay attention to your dreams and see if you can remember any of those, because there's learnings coming in for you. Absolutely. It was funny because I saw her serving you, unlike Isabel's mother that did all this cooking and the preparation of the sauces and the love that went into that. And what I saw with your grandma was like a cut piece of ham and cheese on a Ritz.
There's a lot of love that went into that.
But it was her love and preparation and all that came through her stories and her wisdom and the time together and the little laughing and it was in that format rather than in food. I think I was just seeing that it was not in food. But anyway, it's just fun what they have shared with us.
Yeah.
She's talking to you at night. Yeah. My grandma comes in a lot of dreams. Yes, because they're talking to you.
Very cool.
Interesting. And Angelina said, I think you were accessing the woman whose house we just bought.
That's funny.
Does she serve ham on a Ritz? That's fun. Grace, my sweet friend, we're going to have to get to you next time. Please, please join us. Godspeed to you over in Kenya, sweet thing. Know that we love you across the many ponds over there.
Yeah.
And everybody, thank you for joining us. This was great. Beautiful time. Sue Broome, thank you so much. All right. Thanks for being here at Enlightened World Network. Take good care. God bless. We'll see you all soon.